All right, let's get tactical today. We're diving deep into something you might not expect. Arsenal's corner kicks.
Corner kicks.
Yep, corner kicks. They've turned, well, what's usually a maybe we'll get lucky play into a goal-scoring machine this season.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
I mean, we're talking comparisons to Stoke City under Tony Pulis.
Ah, Stoke City, the set piece king.
Exactly. That team was known for their set pieces, but Arsenal's doing it with, like, a whole new level of sophistication. And get this, they're leading the league in goals from corners. So we're going to unpack just how they're doing it and the big question, can anyone stop them?
Sounds like a fascinating deep dive. Where are we getting our info from?
Oh, we've got it all. Expert analysis, stats, comparing them to other teams, even some player quotes.
The whole 9 yards?
Exactly. So,
What?
ready to see how Arsenal's cracked the corner kick code?
Absolutely. Let's get into it.
Okay, so first, let's talk about why this is such a big deal. I mean, teams score from corners, right? It's not unheard of.
Right, but it's the proportion that's remarkable. Arsenal have scored 22 goals from corners this season alone.
22.
Yep, putting them ahead of teams like even Manchester City. And in European competition, they're 5 goals clear of Leverkusen, who's in second place. Over 25% of their goals, if you don't count penalties, have come from set pieces.
Wow, 25%. That's huge. I mean, how does that compare to, say, a team that was known for set-piece goals?
Well, think about Everton. They lead the league, with 50% of their goals coming from set pieces.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Or Stoke, back when Pulis was manager. They were at 43%.
So those teams relied heavily on set pieces, but Arsenal,
Arsenal has incorporated them into a much more diverse attack. They're not just a one-trick pony.
right, it's not their only weapon, but it's a pretty effective one. Speaking of which, didn't someone compare them to Stoke City? I imagine Stoke fans weren't thrilled about that.
Yeah, Dimitar Berbatov, he kind of jokingly called them the new Stoke City. But even he admitted there's a key difference.
What is that?
Stoke, under Pulis, they were known for their physicality. Think Rory Delap's long throws. A packed penalty box. Just chaos.
Yeah, I remember those days. Hard to defend against.
Exactly, but Arsenal. They're using precision, movement, and really clever routines. It's not just brute force.
So it's less battering ram and more like a, what, like a surgical strike?
Exactly. Even Roberto Martinez, who managed Everton, he had to face those Stoke sides.
Yeah.
He admitted how tough they were to play against. But he also had praise for Arsenal. He said they've turned what was a bit of a blunt instrument into something far more refined.
Okay, so less smash and grab, more like a calculated masterpiece.
Precisely.
All right, I'm dying to know. How are they actually doing this? Is it just having tall players in the box?
It's way more than that. It's like a 3-part recipe. Delivery, blocking, and variety.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
First, you got Declan Rice's corner kicks. They've been incredibly accurate, putting the ball exactly where it needs to be.
So the delivery is key.
Absolutely. Then you've got players strategically blocking defenders and even the goalkeeper's line of sight. It makes it nearly impossible for them to react.
So they can't even see the ball coming.
It's tough. And lastly, they keep everyone guessing by targeting different areas of the box. Front post, back post, even short corners that develop into something else entirely.
So it's not just about lobbing it into the box and hoping for the best. There's a real strategy to it.
Oh, yeah. There's a method to the madness.
Okay, that makes sense. But give us a visual. What does one of these routines actually look like in action?
All right, so picture this. Corner kicks awarded. Rice steps up. 2 Arsenal players make a beeline for the near post.
Gotcha.
Looks like they're going to challenge for a header. This draws in defenders, creating space at the back post. Meanwhile, another player, let's say Gabriel Jesus, starts his run from outside the box, perfectly timed to meet the ball as it curves over those near post blockers, heads it into the net. Boom! Goal.
Wow, so it's like choreographed chaos in the penalty area.
Exactly. Controlled chaos.
No wonder opposing teams are struggling. What are managers saying about facing this? Are they just throwing their hands up in defeat?
Well, even experienced managers are having a tough time. Ruben Amorim, he manages Sporting Lisbon.
Okay, yeah.
He called Arsenal's corner routines incredible. He even said they can completely change the dynamic of a game, even if things are pretty even otherwise.
So they're turning a dead ball situation into a constant threat.
Pretty much.
It's like every corner is a penalty kick waiting to happen.
That's a great way to put it.
And it's clear that Arsenal is treating it that way.
Oh, absolutely.
Declan Rice, he's been quoted as saying they practice set pieces constantly because they know repetition leads to goals. He sees every corner as a prime scoring opportunity.
Smart.
It's impressive, that level of dedication. But here's the big question that everyone wants to know. can it be stopped? I mean, surely teams have tried different defensive strategies.
They have. The problem is traditional methods just don't seem to be working very well against Arsenal. Well, man marking. It becomes too difficult with all the movement and blocking. And zonal systems. They tend to leave gaps that Arsenal exploits.
So it's a real puzzle for opposing coaches.
A big one.
It sounds like they're in a tough spot, damned if they do, damned if they don't. But is there anything that seems to work even a little bit?
Well, there's been a lot of debate. Some say that Arsenal's blocking tactics are maybe pushing the boundaries of fair play.
Oh, interesting.
So opponents might be looking for referees to intervene more.
Ah, so it's not just about tactics. There's a bit of gamesmanship involved, too.
Could be.
I can see how that would be frustrating for the other team, feeling like the rules are being bent.
Definitely. But what makes Arsenal really dangerous is they're always adapting. Roberto Martinez, all his years of managing in the Premier League,
Yeah.
he made a really interesting observation. He said that most teams, they try to analyze set-piece routines, try to anticipate what their opponent might do. But Arsenal always seems to have a new trick up their sleeve.
Oh, so they're always one step ahead?
Exactly. They keep innovating, which makes them incredibly difficult to plan for.
So it's like trying to hit a moving target that keeps changing its camouflage. Who is the mastermind behind all of this?
You're right. There's got to be a brilliant mind behind the scenes. It's Nicholas Jover, Arsenal's set-piece coach.
Ah, the set-piece whisperer.
You got it. He's getting a lot of credit for all this meticulous planning and analysis that goes into these routines.
I bet his playbook is like a work of art for anyone who understands football tactics.
Oh, I'd love to get my hands on that.
But what about the fans? I mean, they must be loving this, right? Goals are goals no matter how they come.
For sure. Arsenal fans are thrilled with the results, no doubt. It's definitely adding to the excitement of the matches. However, remember that debate we talked about?
Oh, blocking tactics.
Yeah. That conversation's happening everywhere. Pubs, online forums, everywhere.
Yeah, I can imagine it getting pretty heated. Is it fair play? Are they cheating? All that. So we've got the stats, the expert analysis, even a peek behind the curtain. But this is just the tip of the iceberg, right?
Yeah, this is just the beginning. What's even more interesting is the bigger picture. What does Arsenal's success with set pieces mean for the future of football? Are we watching a tactical revolution unfold right before our eyes? We'll dive into those questions when we come back.
All right, so we've established that Arsenal is absolutely dominating with these corner kick routines. But what I'm really curious about is, what does this mean for football as a whole? Are we watching some tactical revolution right before our eyes?
It's certainly possible. Set pieces for years, they were seen as a bonus, a way to maybe, sneak in a goal here or there. But Arsenal has shown that they can be a primary weapon, a source of consistent, reliable scoring.
So it's like they've turned a side dish into the main course.
Exactly.
And everyone's taking notice, right?
Yeah.
I mean, other teams must be scrambling to figure out how to copy this or at least stop it.
Absolutely. Opponents are studying Arsenal's every move, trying to, find weaknesses in those routines. And you can bet that other managers they're taking notes, trying to figure out how to implement similar strategies with their own teams.
So it's like a ripple effect, kind of spreading across the league.
Yeah.
And maybe even beyond. But here's another question. Will Arsenal be able to keep this up? Or will other teams figure out how to, neutralize their threat?
That's the million-dollar question. It's like a tactical arms race, right? Right now, Arsenal has the upper hand, but how long can they maintain that advantage?
I guess we'll have to wait and see. It's this kind of evolution that makes football so fascinating. It's a constant game of cat and mouse, with managers and players always trying to outsmart each other. What do you think this means for the future of, set pieces in the game?
I think we're seeing a shift in how teams value and approach set pieces. For a long time, they were seen as a secondary tactic, almost an afterthought. But Arsenal has demonstrated that they can be just as important as open play, maybe even more so.
It's almost like they've flipped the script. Instead of relying on individual brilliance or a free-flowing attack, they've turned a dead ball situation into this, precise, calculated weapon.
And that could have huge implications for how teams train, how they scout players, even how they design their tactics. I mean, imagine a world where every top club has a dedicated set-piece coach analyzing data, creating these elaborate routines, and turning free kicks and corners into goal-scoring machines.
It's not hard to imagine at all. And if that happens, Arsenal's going to be the ones who spark this whole revolution. It's a testament to their innovation, their meticulous planning, and of course the skill of the players executing those plans on the pitch.
Yeah, But let's not forget, the story's far from over. The season's still unfolding, and that tactical battle's going to continue.
So it's a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
We need to know how this all plays out. Will Arsenal maintain their reign as, like, the Corner Kings? Or will someone find the antidote to their set-piece dominance?
That's where you, our listener, come in. We've given you the information, the expert analysis, the inside perspectives. Now it's your turn to observe, to analyze, and maybe even predict how this tactical saga unfolds.
Will Arsenal continue to, rewrite the set-piece playbook? Will other teams rise to the challenge? Or will we see an entirely new approach emerge? Something we haven't even considered yet.
We've laid the groundwork. Now it's up to you to draw your own conclusions.
Okay, before we wrap things up, there's one more aspect I want to touch on, the human element. We've talked a lot about the tactics and the data, but what about the fans, the players, the emotions tied to all of this?
Oh, that's a great point.
Yeah.
We mentioned the debate around the legality of some of Arsenal's blocking tactics, but there's a whole other layer to explore there. How are fans reacting to this new style of play?
Right. Are they fully embracing it? Or do some feel like it's kind of taking away from the beauty of the game? And what about the players themselves? I mean, what's it like to be part of a team that's changing the way football is played?
These are all fantastic questions, and ones that deserve further exploration. It's a reminder that football, it's more than just tactics and statistics. It's a game filled with passion and controversy and human stories.
I love that. So to our listener, we're issuing a challenge. Go beyond the numbers and the expert opinions. Explore the human side of Arsenal's set-piece mastery. What are the stories, the debates, the emotions fueling this phenomenon? Share your insights on social media using the hashtag Arsenal Corner Kings. We can't wait to see what you uncover.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.
And keep your eyes on those corners. You never know when the next tactical masterpiece will unfold. As we've been talking about Arsenal's corner kick dominance, it's always been kind of bugging me.
Oh, what's that?
It's this whole idea of how tactics evolve in football. It wasn't that long ago, that if a team was known for scoring from set pieces, it was almost seen as a negative.
A negative?
Yeah, like they couldn't score from open play. They weren't skilled enough.
Oh, right. There was definitely a perception that it was like a less skillful way to score, reliance on brute force rather than creativity.
Exactly. But Arsenal has completely changed that perception. They've shown that set pieces can be just as intricate, just as exciting as any other part of the game.
It's true. They've elevated it.
Yeah, it's like they've taken this almost forgotten weapon and turned it into a game changer.
And what's so impressive is that level of detail, the planning that goes into it. They're not just hoping for a lucky bounce or a towering header. It's precision, timing, understanding the opponent's weaknesses.
It's like watching a carefully choreographed dance in the penalty area. Each player has their role, their movements are perfectly timed to create that confusion and exploit any gaps.
And you can see the opposition struggling to keep up. They're trying to anticipate the next move, but Arsenal keeps them guessing.
It's a masterclass in tactical execution. Even if you're not an Arsenal fan, you have to appreciate it, the brilliance of it.
Absolutely.
It really makes you wonder, is this the future of football? Will we see more teams adopting this, hyper-specialized approach to set pieces?
Well, I think we're already seeing signs of it. Teams are hiring dedicated set-piece coaches. They're investing in data analysis, spending more time on these routines and training.
That's a really exciting prospect. It means the game is constantly evolving, finding new ways to surprise and outsmart opponents.
Absolutely.
And it also speaks to the growing importance of data and analysis in football. Arsenal's success is partly, due to their meticulous planning, their ability to find those tiny edges that can make all the difference.
It's true. The margins are so small.
Yeah. It's a great reminder that in modern football, every detail matters. From the placement of a player's foot to the curve of the ball, those seemingly small factors can have a huge impact.
No doubt about it.
So what does this all mean for the average fan, besides, of course, getting to see more goals from corners?
I think it adds another layer of intrigue to the game. It's not just about, individual brilliance or those free-flowing attacking moves anymore.
Right.
There's this whole other tactical battle happening on set pieces, and it can be just as captivating.
Yeah, it's like a secret game within the game.
Exactly.
And for those who, appreciate the strategic side of football, it's a real treat.
It really is.
So the next time you're watching a match and a team wins a corner, don't tune out. Pay close attention. You might be about to witness a moment of tactical genius.
Absolutely.
Those corners, they might just be the most exciting part of the game.
Ah,
And on that note, we'll leave you with one final thought to ponder.
oh, okay. Shoot.
As this set-piece revolution unfolds, think about the wider implications for the sport. Does it make the game more predictable? Or does it actually add another layer of complexity and unpredictability?
Ooh, good question.
And how will it affect the balance of power? Could a team with limited resources but a brilliant set-piece coach challenge those traditional giants of the game? These are the questions that, we'll be exploring as we continue to dive deep into this ever-evolving world of football.
Always evolving.
Until next time, keep your eyes on those corners and never stop exploring.
And we'll see you on the next deep